In the mist-veiled highlands of Varima, where the wind whispered through black pines and the stars seemed to hang lower than the mountain tops, there lived a hunter named Kor. He was the last of his bloodline, hardened by years of solitude and survival. His name was known in every village for his unmatched skill with bow and spear, but he was also feared, for he hunted alone, and never spoke of the deep woods he wandered. The people of Varima told stories of ancient things that dwelled in the mountains. Spirits of flame, beasts made of starlight, shadows that bled poison. But the most feared of all was the Virek, a spirit beast said to be older than the trees, whose roar could crack stone and whose blood burned like fire. It was the guardian of the forest heart, and those who sought it never returned. Kor never hunted for glory. He hunted to survive. But one season, a drought fell over the highlands, and the animals grew scarce. Hunger bit harder than winter winds. The elders of the villages spoke of a beast that passed through the valley at dusk, unseen but not unfelt. The trees bent in its wake. The air froze in its silence. Crops wilted. People fell sick. They said the Virek had awakened. The elders offered Kor gold, land, and titles if he could slay the spirit beast. He said nothing. He took up his bow, slung his spear, and vanished into the forest. For 3 days he tracked the Virek. Not by footprints, but by what wasn't there. Birds fell silent. Wind dared not blow. Trees, ancient and mighty, stood stripped of bark and bled sap that steamed in the cold. At night, Kor dreamt of fire in the shape of a stag, its antlers like lightning, its eyes burning with sorrow. On the 4th day, deep in a glade hidden behind a waterfall, he found it. The Virek was massive, taller than any elk, yet it walked without a sound. Its fur shimmered like moonlight on snow, and from its shoulders rose tendrils of mist. It drank not water, but moonlight, which gathered in pools only it could see. It was beauty and terror in equal measure. Kor nocked an arrow. His heart beat steadied. He had hunted every beast known in the mountains. But as he drew his bow, the Virek turned its gaze upon him, and he felt no fear, only grief. Images flooded his mind, the forest burning in some forgotten war, the beast hunted by kings and warriors across centuries, its children slain, its name cursed. It was no monster, it was memory. A guardian of the land, a spirit older than any man. Kor lowered his bow. But it was too late. The wound he hadn't noticed began to burn. A branch had pierced his shoulder days before. Now it pulsed with sickness, the forest sickness. Poisoned roots. Cursed oil. Not from the beast, but from the greed of men. The Virek stepped forward. It bowed its head, not in submission, but in mourning. Then it touched him. Pain surged through Kor's veins, but it was cleansing, not cruel. The spirit beast poured its essence into him, healing the rot, but marking him forever. His eyes burned silver. His skin pulsed with forest light. You are the last to understand, the Virek's voice echoed in his mind. Take my burden. In a flash of light and wind, the Virek dissolved, its form becoming wind, mist, and silence once more. Its power passed into Kor, and the glade grew quiet. He returned to the villages days later, cloaked in moss and moonlight. His steps brought grass back to the scorched fields. His breath calmed crying children. He did not speak, but all who saw him knew, the hunter had become more than man. He was the warden of the wild. Guardian of balance. Vessel of the spirit beast. And though he never entered the village again, people told tales of seeing him at the edge of the woods, watching. Protecting. And when hunters strayed too deep, or men sought to tame the forest heart, they would hear a voice on the wind. Leave the old gods in peace. Years passed, and the legend of Kor, the warden of the wild, grew roots in every heartside story and cradle song in Varima. Children carved wooden figures of him, a lone figure with antlers on his brow and a silver glint in his eye. Hunters left offerings of carved bone and herbs on stone altars at the forest edge, whispering prayers for safe passage. The forest, once feared, became sacred. Yet, no one dared go beyond the old waterfall, where it was said the spirit beast had passed its soul to the hunter. But peace, as always, was fragile. From beyond the mountain's reach, a warlord came. His name was Osset the Gilded, a man who believed in steel, coin, and dominion. He cared nothing for old gods or ghost beasts. With an army of ironclad men and machines that spat fire, he marched on the highlands, seeking the untouched resources of Varema, its rare minerals, its thick forest, and its unbroken silence. He tore down trees by the hundreds. Dams choked rivers. Fire fields cleared the sacred glades. When the elders protested, he laughed. "You pray to mist and antlers," he said, "but I build empires from stone and blood." The forest cried out. And the warden heard. On a night when the moon vanished, Osset's soldiers disappeared from their camps, one by one. Those who returned were pale and trembling, muttering of silver eyes in the trees and voices in the wind. Weapons rusted overnight. Arrows curved in mid-flight. The land itself turned against them. Then, one night, Osset rode to the heart of the forest, demanding the warden show himself. He stood before the ancient waterfall, flanked by war machines and burning torches. His voice echoed, mocking. "Ko! Spirit thief! If you are a god now, face me." The forest answered, not with roars, but with silence. Then, from the mist, Ko stepped forward. He was taller now, cloaked in vines and shadow. Antlers rose from his head like branches, and his eyes burned silver. "You were warned," Ko said, his voice like distant thunder. "Leave the old gods in peace." Osset sneered. "Old gods die when new men rise." He raised his sword, but never brought it down. The ground split. Roots coiled around his legs. His sword melted like wax in fire. From every tree, every stone, spirits rose, not beasts, but fragments of memory and magic, bound to the warden's will. Osset screamed as he was pulled into the earth, and the soil sealed above him. The army fled. The machines rotted where they stood. The wind whispered no more names of war. From that night on, the borders of Varema were sealed, not by walls, but by warning. Travelers who came seeking gold found only silence. Those who came with reverence, with offerings of respect and remembrance, were guided safely through. Ko lived on, but no longer as a man. He was part of the forest now. Its heart. Its voice. Its fury and its mercy. And when the wind howled through the black pines and the mist hung heavy near the waterfall, people would say, "The spirit beast lives still, in the hunter who became legend."